Mkoaje? Kwa salama? How are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, from wherever you're watching. Thank you so much for clicking onto this video. Thank you for being here. It's such an honor and I'm very grateful for your presence. Thank you for even the interactions and the love that we've had from the previous episode. Thank you so much. I do not take it for granted. Thank you. Let's help us spread it, help us share it to other moms, other families. Like, share, comment. Let's get ourselves to 200 subscribers, okay? Thank you, but thank you from the depth of my heart. Thank you so much for being here. So on to this episode. I don't know any better way to say this than, can we please mind our business? Mind your business. And I know it seems so rude, and I really don't mean to be rude, but I think it's the best phrase I can say and I can use for this episode. And I'll say why. And I'll give you two examples, two stories. One is mine, it was shared, and I feel it will relate to both of them. Okay. 2021 I was pregnant, and I was delivering in the year 2022 in January. So I was really tired. I was really tired. I had my best share of baking and growing this baby. I was so tired. I remember I could not walk. I was so irritated. I was even limping. Like there was a time my left hip, I could not move. I used to drag it. And I went to the doctor, to the hospital that we had decided on. Basically, it was the hospital that we had our second born in. So we went. I asked this doctor, I'm so tired. I'm in so much pain. I need to get this baby out. And the doctor was like, but you've not dilated. I was like, I don't think I need to go. I don't think I will do a natural birth because it's just 2 years since I got my second baby. And she was like, no, okay, you just go back, and next week, if you don't feel like, if it gets worse, you just come. Trust you me, by the time that week was over, I was back at the hospital. I am tired. I need this baby out. And when I'm doing all this, I had not washed any clothes for my child. They were new. I had even not finished shopping. But to be really honest, I was really tired. So the doctor said, okay, fine, come on Thursday. Come on Wednesday. We book you on Wednesday. You have your delivery on Thursday. Mimi huyo, when I was given that news, we went back home, washed the much that we could, and so I was really excited to go for surgery on Thursday. So on Wednesday we went home. We packed, went to the hospital, ready for our delivery. As you might know or you might not know, I have had 2 cesarean sections and 1 natural. My first one was a natural birth, the 2 were cesarean. And the reason why I had this first cesarean was because my child was in distress, so I had to. It's not that I could not push. The second one is because the time frame between my second born and my third born was short. So our doctor told us that even though I would get to have a cesarean, even though I would want to have a natural birth, the theater room would still be ready for me just for any eventualities. And I thought, why go through all this? And yet the second one, my first time in surgery was a success, and I'm going to the same hospital. So I booked myself, got ready, prayed, and I was ready for my delivery on Thursday. When Thursday came, my husband was around. He's just giving me encouraging, and I was not, you're not in any labor, you're not feeling any contractions, your baby's just moving kawaida. I remember we were 5 ladies, and I was the second one scheduled for surgery. But somewhere along the way, I started feeling anxious. I felt afraid. I felt that something was off. I really felt something in my spirit. Something was really off. I cannot explain. Like, I started being afraid, and this is a hospital that I had delivered my second born, and I felt so afraid. And I remember asking my husband, please pray. He was like, relax. He was just telling me, relax. Kila kitu itakuwa sawa. And I'm like, it's okay, but cover me with prayers, because something is off. I'm not okay. And even the lady who had gone before me, she took time. It took time compared to the one that I had experienced before. This one seemed to take longer, and I was even so excited that between me and her there was an emergency cesarean. So I was like fused, but still I got really anxious, really afraid. I felt something was amiss, so it was my time to go. I went. They started prepping me. If you've done a cesarean, they clean your womb, they clean your tummy, they do all the prep work. And I kept on feeling afraid. And I remember the one who was supposed to do the operation came in, and now my heart sank. My heart really sank. He seemed like he was high, either on alcohol or either was drunk or something, because even the way he was acting, it freaked me. And I was like, nilimuuliza, niona nifanya operation? And he was like, na mami usijali, kila kitu iko sawa, kila kitu iko sawa. Uni mtoto, he's all over. And personally, I usually have so many question marks with people who talk a lot. They do not even give you time to talk. I always have question marks. So this one was giving me huge question marks, like they were all written all over his face, and I felt so afraid. And you know what? My husband was outside the room praying, and he was praying. So I was confident, but still I felt scared. So I did have niligandishwa half, and now I was trying to get the surgery ready. So there was a lady on my left, this guy who was supposed to do the operation was on my right. The anesthesia was somewhere behind me. I could see him, everything, those things that were checking my vitals were ready. And before that, I had asked him, are we going to pray? And he looked at me and was like, pray? Like, yeah, I would love us to pray. He was like, yeah, sure. He just brushed it off. And the reason why I asked that, because even in my previous one, in my second surgery with my second born, my first surgery with my second born, I asked, in fact, it was the anesthesia. He told me, we can pray. Are you a believer? Can we pray? I was like, yeah, let's pray. There's something comforting about prayers. So when this one brushed it off, I assumed he would. or I somewhere I thought I would make them pray. In my mind, I thought I would make them pray. So what happened? So he started, when we were about, now everything is ready, he did the first cut. He just started cutting, opening my womb. I told him, I'm feeling pain. I'm feeling pain. And his response was, mama, acha kustuka. Hautasikia uchungu. Chenye utasikia ni movement, but you will not feel pain. Kwa sababu umegandwa, wamekugandisha. Kayambia relax. So I don't know why I felt like it was all in my mind. So they took another cut. Let me tell you, that pain, I would not even wish it on my worst enemy. I screamed and I told him, I'm feeling the pain. Now they started murmuring, Kwani, you've not injected her? Oh, I did, nini. So they asked me, can you feel your legs? I'm like, yeah, I can feel my legs. And they asked me, raise your legs, and I raised them. And now they, I could see their facial expressions, and I could really see they have started to panic. So it means that the drug that they had injected me was not working. And now this guy from anesthesia, the one who was wakugandisha, he injected me directly to my vein some drug, and he told me, this one will make you just feel sleepy. I went comatose. So they had given me a full injection for the whole body, and now they continue doing their thing. I started, I don't know how I can explain this, but it was so traumatizing because I felt like I was moving and spiraling. Maybe it's because I had never done anesthesia before, but I felt like there was this light I was going to, and I left, because the last thing I remember is that doctor saying, no, you're perfect. So meaning I was ready, they were ready, they could continue the surgery. So I was completely asleep, but in me, I felt like I was spiraling. I was looking for something. I was just looking for a light. And now when I got conscious is when I felt like something was, like kuna mbuzi inalia karibu na mimi. That was the cry that I had, and I was looking for it. I was trying to look for it. Kumbe, it is my daughter. They've removed my baby. And that cry for me felt like it was a goat or a sheep crying. So I was trying to go back to it, to look for that sound. And then I gained conscious. So my womb is out. I'm in pain. I grabbed the doctor, that same surgeon, and I told him, I'm in pain. I remember I grabbed him with every beat, every ounce of energy I had. I grabbed him he was on my right like this. When you usually, when you're sleeping on that bed, you like crucified. So on this arm, it was heavy, but I tried and grabbed him and I held him and I told him, I'm in pain. Remember, it's just months away we were just from COVID. So we're still having masks. I had gone in theater with a mask. So I grabbed him and I told him I'm in pain. So this guy, the one who was giving medicine, gave me another dose so that I could sleep, so that they could finish. What? Now this one, literally, I saw myself dying. Literally, I have no other explanation. I knew this one I was to die, because even I started foaming. I started moving foam, and now I could not speak. It was just a bad experience. The foam was going back to my nostrils. And to a certain time, trust you, I know this one might sound weird, but I felt like I've left my body. My spirit and my body had separated. Okay? I could feel I was out of my body. I hope it makes sense. I could see that I was away from my body. I was not inside this body. My spirit was leaving. And I remember saying, I'm not going to agree this. I will not sleep. I'll fight it. And I kept on praying. Let me tell you, there's power in prayer. I prayed about it. I kept on saying, God, these children shall not live without their mother. God, you have assured me, your promises are yes and amen. My Father, you've said that I will not die until my hair is gray and old. I confessed, I declared scriptures over my life in my spirit. I was not speaking. I wasn't. So once I felt the baby, they had finished and they said it's enough. Now I think there was a sigh of relief. I was like, phew. And I felt now I'm back to my body. I hope it makes sense. But I could feel I'm away, but now I'm back. So now they realized I was even struggling to breathe, because now the foam was going back. So the lady nurse was sick next to me, saw it and removed my mask. Okay, you know the way we used to put it down here. She removed and wiped it, and now I could breathe. I felt like I can breathe again. Now I was taken to the recovery room, to the ward where I needed to recover. And let me tell you, from there, things were bad. Not really, but they were bad. Because now later my husband was to come and see me, and the nurses needed to show my husband, this is your child. And you know what the beauty about it was? One of the nurse, who was a guy, saw him and he had seen my child. And he was like, Wendo baba mtoto. My kids, if you've seen my children look like my husband. Completely. So he knew this is the father. Because I did not know where I was at that time. So when I came back, I saw someone. Even my eyes were blurry and everything was blurry. But I could see someone from the way I was sleeping. Directly opposite, I could see somebody who was still standing there. And I did not have the strength, but I knew this person. I felt like this person was coming to get my child. After I've struggled, after I almost died giving birth to my baby, now this person is taking my child. Kumbe, it was my husband. He was just seated there looking at me. He tried to talk to me. I did not know who he was. My mind, like I had lost memory. I think because of that, too much drugs in my system. I didn't know who he was. But all I knew was this person was. I don't think I remember being someone's wife. I only knew I was a mother. So when I remember raising my hand and placing it on my child so that this person cannot grab and steal my baby. And it was bad. My husband, I insert a picture he took, because now him himself was panicking. He had started getting worried because he's talking to me. I look you know, when you look at a stranger and you don't know who this person is, who is this talking to you, that is how I was towards him. And I remember the nurses, some of these nurses, yeah, you nurses, if you're a nurse, can you be kind and gentle to your patients? Because a lady nurse would pass shouting, "We mama, patia mtoto wako matiti." You know, the way that they speak. Ama atakufa, you know, and yet you do not even have the energy. You don't have even the strength. And thank God my husband was there, because in this picture that you've seen here, you can see my baby. I have IV, and you can see my baby is breastfeeding. She's latched onto my breast. That was not me. That was all him. He placed my baby and gave my child, our daughter. She literally, yani alinyonyesha, if that makes sense. He latched her to my breast. And there was no milk, but ilibidi tu. She continued suckling until something came out. So you see, it was a bad experience. My third pregnancy was amazing. The journey was amazing, but coming to the end of it, that was bad. It was bad. Even when we were asked to give recommendations, I said that was the worst service. I almost died. I gave them a piece of my experience. So that's one story. Second story. So in church, someone shared, a lady shared. I don't know if it was her but she said a lady friend. So I'll give that story to the best of my recollection. So this lady had been married for 5 years. She was a church person. She was a church lady with a husband, very diligently and very faithfully going to church. And 5 years later, they do not have a child. They've not been blessed. Their womb has not yet been blessed. And she said that behind closed doors, she used to cry and cry. And even there were times she had 3 miscarriages. And every time she could conceive, but within 6 weeks, she lost her pregnancy. So someone in church, and they used to get these questions all the time. Oh, mtazaa lini? Kwani mna plan aje? You know, you get questions from your aunties, your mother-in-law, you know, such questions of when will we start seeing the fruits of this union, you know? So this time she got pregnant, and luckily this time it had passed 6 weeks. It had gone, I think, to 10, I believe. Yeah. So on Sunday, she's happy. She's carrying. She has the fruit of her womb within her, and things have been going good for the 10 weeks. But on this Sunday, she feels something hot, you know, gushing out. She goes to the toilet and she finds blood. So she knew she had miscarried. And it broke her. But because they were doing something in church, they couldn't miss church. So they cried kidogo, held each other's hands, said it's okay, we'll try next time, you know, just encouraging each other, because even the husband is going through that loss. So after that, they dressed up, dolled their face, looked beautiful, looked as if nothing had happened, and went to church. And on that same day, someone from church asked them, kwani mna plan kupata watoto lini? Kwani mnajipatia, kwani hamwoni miaka 5 is much, is enough? You've taken too long. Ama ni career, and it's in church. Remember, it's in church. You're just getting in church. And she said, the lady who was giving us that story said she held the husband, in a very polite way, held the wife's hand and held it tight just to assure things are okay. But this woman was broken inside. Broken because it's not my fault. I would love also to be a mother, but if only you knew what has just happened, if only you knew that I had conceived, but I have now lost it just today. And those are my 2 stories. Now I hope you understand why I had to start by saying, let's mind our business. Because, and this is to every human being under the sound of my voice, can we please mind our business? Mambo ya being when you'll get pregnant, when you get a child, is none of your business, honestly. Because those who are seeing from outside never know. Unless I share my story, you will not know what I'm going through, right? Unless I tell you this and this happened to me. Unless, if I did not give my story of how my third born was, how I got my third born, you will never know, right? So there's so much someone usually goes through. There's one man, and there are people who are going through traumas. Maybe someone went through a bad experience like I did, or even worse. And you're up here asking them, unapata mtu mwingine lini? Or you're in people's business. You don't know how much they are really, even them, they desire to be a parent, but they're struggling. They cannot conceive. And there's nothing wrong with the husband, neither is that anything wrong with the wife. But it's not yet time. But you're just constantly being in their business. Stop it. To a point that even now, it is so bad that people are in your business and questioning you and asking you so many things like, once you get your first, if you don't get a child, if you've not yet conceived, utazaa lini? Unatuletea mjukuu lini? Tutaitwa shosho lini? Haya, you get that child. Haya, no sooner than you've gotten the hang of things, you asked, utatuzalia second born anakuja lini? As if 1 is not enough, 2 is enough. You get the second born. Now, like me, I have 3 children. Someone asks me when I'm adding a 4th born. Really? Let's go even to other extremes. Maybe I have 3 children. Yes, I have 3 children and they're all girls. Next question is, are you trying for a boy? Maybe the 4th one will be a boy. Or maybe there are cultures that really insist on a boy, or vice versa, that you've had so many boys and you have 2 boys or 3 boys, and now you're being asked if you'll get another child and see if it's a girl. It's never enough. That's this kind of society that we are in. And I wish we would all mind our business. It's not our business to know if people are struggling, when they will have their first child, whether they plan on adding another, whether they want to be child-free. it's none of our business. Just watch from aside. If you feel like they need to add another child, just keep it to yourself. Just learn to shut, because the more you ask, the more you hurt people. I know of a lady who went through a bad experience like I did with my third born, with her first child. And up to today, she would love, she always says, I'd love so much to have a child, to have another. But after going, if I remember the experience I had, I'd rather not. And let me ask also, is it wrong just to have one daughter, one son, or just one child? Is it? Must it be is there any trophy given to people who have more than one child? I believe no. So let's be mindful. Be very mindful of your neighbor. Extend grace, because behind closed doors, someone is struggling to conceive. Someone they're even trying to do the IVFs and procedure, but I don't think we need to be carrying placards or just always trying to have that chance of explaining. Well, tunajaribu kupata mtoi, lakini it's not happening. Or we are really trying. Imagine we're trying. Imagine you think we are not trying. Imagine you're trying. No one needs to give you an explanation. And I always tell this to someone who's trying to kinda try and ask, mbona so and so is not getting kids, or mbona. Do you know what I tell them? If you feel it's such a burden to you, or it's a burden to you that this couple is not having a child, or this woman, or she's not getting married, even for marriage, because that's another one. Like, you need to get married. If you feel that burden, take it to the Lord in prayer. Stand in the gap for them and pray to God over their situation. Just don't talk about it. If you just feel that burden, if you really feel that, like, you see this couple, yes, they've been married 5 years, 10 years, and they have not said they are okay, they want to be child-free, they've not even had that conversation. And maybe they say they will have a child when God gives. Take it to the Lord in prayer. But no one needs to give you any explanation. Okay? So if you want to be child-free, please do. If you want to have one daughter, one son, or just one child, it's okay. If you want to have 5, also let no one judge you. It's okay. Okay? So that's why I said, let's be mindful and let's mind our business. Because in as much as I'm struggling to conceive, you're also struggling in an area of your life. I might be struggling to conceive, but financially I'm okay. Mentally I'm okay. Physically I'm okay. But you are also struggling with something. You might not be struggling with having to conceive or being a father or a mother, but there's something. Maybe you can get as many children as possible, but you cannot sustain them financially because you're really struggling financially. Or there's something health-wise, there's something wrong. We're all struggling. There's something that we are not perfect. Neither do we have everything. We don't have it all. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. We don't have it all. So I wish you all the best. And as we move forward, as we move after this episode. Let's not question. Let's not ask. Let's be mindful of each other. Aunties, uncles, mom-in-laws, moms, let's not feel the nudge or the urge to ask some of these questions. If your daughter is not getting married, just pray that she may get a husband who's worthy of her love, or a wife who is worthy of his love. Okay? And when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen. So let's be mindful. Let's be mindful. Yeah, I hope this was an eye-opener for someone. I hope it did not come out as being harsh. I really tried not to sound harsh or rude, but the truth had to be said. And if you feel like this is something that you can share with someone, please share it, because when you like, it will get to so many people, and we can change this idea of being in people's business. Because here on Unscripted Mom, as I've always said, is where we learn and unlearn things that we thought are right. We change them and we learn new things, all for God's glory. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Love each other. Spread love like confetti. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.